All right, to kind of build the stage here, we lived out in the country. Our front property, actually our whole property was like really, really heavy with trees, except for the pasture areas, right? So when you come down our driveway, you start off on the far one side, and they kind of snake through, and you ended up on the far other side, right? And it's real heavy trees. We had this tree that when we first moved out there, it had fallen over, but it didn't die. So we always called that the leaning tree. And it just probably about a 30-degree angle from the ground. So it was a great little hangout when friends would come over, what have you. And then, so anyway, to get to the story, me and my brother used to ramp our bicycles. I had like an old Fender banana seat style bicycle that I just wore out, old Murray bicycle, heavy frame. And I used to ramp that bicycle. So me and my brother built a ramp out of some old scrap wood that we had laying around the house, a piece of plywood that was probably, a little more than a foot squared. And then we had some 4x4 pieces my dad had cut off, and they were probably, 4 or 5 inches tall. So we put that on there, so it left it to be like a really steep ramp. And so we had set that up, on the side of the house. We had a floodlight out there, and there's like this little pad right there, real big area where we'd turn around, and we'd set a ramp up right there. And we'd get some serious distance, get going really fast. So, and of course, going about in the country, we were especially out there, it's super dark. If you could walk down our driveway in the middle of the night, even on a bright moon, and you would not see anybody walking down the driveway. That's how dark it is. And so our house set up there on kind of off to the side. My grandmother lived behind us. My Uncle Awesome lived with her for a short period, lived behind us. So anyway, all right, so riding the bicycles, me and my brother are out there ramping, and we're measuring, trying to get distance, how far we're getting, blah, blah. And I get up there, way up in the up to the last curve, and I blast it, right? And in the complete darkness, I get over there, and on the right-hand side of me, on that leaning tree area, I hear the loudest scream from a panther. Hold it right there. So you're thinking, yeah, but do y'all even have those? Yes, we do. There have been several cougar type cats that have been seen in that whole area out there for years. Not common, but they were seen from time to time out there. And so there was some people that lived across the street from us. They actually shot one. So they were out there, just not seen very commonly. Well, here I am, early teens at best, and I hear that scream from a panther. The fear of God went down my spine. Because, can you outrun any type of cougar on a bicycle that's just a regular old bicycle? Can you do that? I don't know if I can. I did everything I can to find out. I blast down the driveway. I hit that ramp. I unload in the air. Bike landed probably a record ever for me. It kept on cruising all the way up there to my grandmother's house. I'm in the house, scared out of my mind. Me and my brother both, man. We bolted in the house, come blasting through the back door. Dad, panther or cougar in the front yard. Dad's like, what? No way. Like, yeah, Dad. But we were scared enough. We were outside all the time with no fear, right? So Dad knew, all right, let's go check this out. He opens up the front door, and there goes that scream again. Dad's like, he goes and gets his 30-30. He pulls it up. He's like, the sound of the slide. Dad's pointing in the area. There's one more scream, and my dad gets over there and he's just going to shoot towards where the sound was, right? And then the last thing we hear is, hold on, hold on. It was my Uncle Awesome sitting on that leaning tree. My dad was so upset. Years later, it's funny, but yeah, so anyway, my Uncle Awesome could walking up there. He could make the perfect sound of a cougar. And because of that talent that he had, he was that far. Let me rephrase. He was about that far from getting shot and being put up on the wall like a deer horns. Anyway, Uncle Awesome will end up seeing this. He'll get a kick out of it. My mom will watch it. She was right there. She knows. She remembers, I'm sure. Anyway, so, all right. Well, that's another quick story. I always thought that story was pretty funny. There's a backstory to it, which I'll probably say I'll give that story at some point. But anyway, hope you enjoyed it. It was fun. We'll see you.